Good afternoon. I, CA Dheeraj Singla, Secretary Sangrur Branch of NIRC of ICI, on behalf of the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, ICI welcome all the participants in today's webcast on enhancing skills to influence and connection for CAs. I welcome to today's resource person, CA Kalpana Thakur, and the event enablers from the Sangrur Branch of NIRC of the ICI and the other presents over here. Introduction to the speaker. CA Kalpana Thakur is a dedicated chartered accountant driven by her profession for training and making a positive impact in the lives of others, which she considers her IKIGAI. With a profound dedication to public speaking, soft skill training, corporate training, and motivational speaking, she brings over 10 years of extensive experience in the audit and assurance domain. Ma'am Kalpana, a seasonal finance professional with experience at Deloitte, she also founded Art of Influence, a training services firm specialized in soft skills such as communication, public speaking, and storytelling. Recently featured on the Joe Stark platform, Kalpana combines her financial acumen with the passion for personal development, offering a unique journey marked by expertise in both domains. Beyond her professional endeavors, Kalpana is also a social activist, a Toastmaster, impaneled faculty with ICI for MCS and OC batches, and a MEPSC certified master trainer, committed to empowering individuals and organizing alike. She stands as a seasoned professional with a holistic approach to growth and development. Now I'm handing over the stage to ma'am. Ma'am, please take over.
Thank you so much, Dheeraj Singla ji from Sangrur branch of NIRC. Thank you once again for such a warm introduction and welcome. And I would also like to I'm grateful for the Professional Skill Enrichment Committee for giving me this opportunity to deliberate on such an important topic of influence and connection. And a very great afternoon to all the participants, my dear fellow chartered accountants here who have joined this session. Is my screen visible? Thank you so much. Before we delve into our discussion for today, first, let me give you the background of how we came with this very important topic of influence and connection. Recently, on 31st January, 1st and 2nd Feb, our alma mater ICAI had hosted WOFA, World Forum of Accountant. It was conducted in our NIRC, Delhi Yashobhumi. And I got the opportunity to attend this event. Most of you must have got this opportunity to attend this, interact with fellow chartered accountants. And if I'll ask you, how was your experience? Or your prima facie objective that you had before attending this session, that yes, these are the things I want to do. Is it fulfilled? Are you able to achieve what you wanted from this event? A question, a thought that I am requesting you to go back and check. Are you successful in networking with your fellow chartered accountants, with the central council member, with the regional council member, all the dignitaries, those were there, not only from India, but across the globe on that platform? Some of you will say yes, very much. I was able to achieve what I was actually having, what I've actually decided to do, the networking. I was able to reach out to as many as chartered accountants I can in that given point in time. I'm also having some, so this I've kept purposely to make you go through. So this is the minimum number I have actually met. This is in, it is more than 200. So I managed to meet more than 200 sold, 200 chartered accountants, and some of them are not, was not chartered accountant. We met, some of them were from industry. The ultimate purpose was networking. I believe, I consider that was for most of us being into practice, and even in the industry, it was networking. And now I want you to park this point that what is beyond networking. So if you will take example of myself, I met more than 200 chartered accountants. What is after that? So today we are sitting on 6th February. Out of those individuals, those human beings, those fellow chartered accountants, on how many of them I was able to leave an impact? With how many of them I was able to actually connect? And what made them, what will lead them to remember me? To remember CA Kalpana Thakur. Yes, she is a chartered accountant into her practice, into soft skill training. Is this question coming into your mind? Think, if you have attended it, it's great. Think from your perspective that how many faces do you remember? Similarly, all of those person we met, how many of them will remember our faces, our name from where we belong? It is difficult. And there what comes our today's discussion, why we need to build connection, why we need to influence people around us. It's not about getting connected and network with our fellow professional. When we talk about getting our business done, here I will again give you a example from WOFA itself. I got the opportunity to meet one of our fellow chartered accountant. He's also Toastmasters. So he has mentioned very thought-provoking thing that it's the conversation, it's how we influence any discussion will decide that how much we will be getting paid. To simplify, he has mentioned that, to give you an example, for a simple GST registration, if you will be charging 5,000 and you will send the same client to me, I will end up charging 5 times more than that. And how it will happen, he said, it's the way we will converse, we will able to convince them that what the value we are bringing on the table. It's again about developing that connection and influencing the person on the other side. Recently, we have witnessed election in our ICAI. And when we elect our leaders, what that which we actually looking for? And to hear, I'll give you a very small example of me coming into interaction with our vice president of ICAI. respected CA Charanjot Singh Nanda sir. He has visited my home branch, Faridabad, which is in Haryana. I think on MSME, I don't remember the event. We had a small interaction. I was having some question related to my CA practice and this soft skill training journey, and he has addressed that query and asked my name. When we met again in Faridabad branch, he addressed me by my name. That yes, Kalpana, how are you? How things are going? All of us can really well imagine and will be having the fair idea that how many fellow chartered accountants and how many human beings he will be interacting in his tenure, and yet he was able to remember my name. We will cover that point in the slides coming ahead. A great leader is the one who is able to connect with the people. And we need it in not only in networking, not only to influence our client, but to lead people. And is it only on professional front that we want that influence and connection? No. We human beings, social animal, we need it not only in professional as well as in our personal life as well. Starting from being your interaction and relationship with your kids, your spouse, your other family members, how much you are able to connect with them, how much you are able to influence them will actually decide the quality of life you are living. Isn't it? Yes, it is. Let's start our discussion, what we are going to discuss today. We will first talk about the first impression. Then we will discuss about the relationship building, how we will be able to do it with the person we are meeting for the first time, ways to people like you. And together with that, we will also touch upon how to win people in a way of your thinking and the qualities of a leader. I hope all of you are excited. Let's start. When our today's session started, all of you would have taken less than 10 seconds to decide about your perception for me being a speaker. And what it is actually that we should be taking care for. That those are the initial seconds and minutes that will decide your conversation, your impact on the other person. In an interview, 55% of the hiring manager says a candidate first impression influence their decision. And it is not only if you're thinking about how you will be talking, that's only decide about your first impression. It is not in that way. It is three things. So today only I was going through a video. It says your first impression can be judged from 10 feet, 10 inches, and the first 10 words you speak. So can you imagine what is from the 10 feet that will be deciding factor in your first appearance, first impression? That is how you look. From 10 inches, your body language. How is your facial expression? Are you making an eye contact? Do you having the straight posture? And the third, as I've mentioned, when you will open your mouth, the first words that will come out of your mouth. So, are you paying attention to your first impression? Are you dressing according to the event, according to the setup you are being part of for a professional meeting, for a family get together? Are you dressing appropriately? Are you having the right body language? And when we talk about being the content of what we are speaking, we will touch a little bit of it during through the progress of our discussion. So keep your curiosity alive. So how to handle people? The amazing soul, amazing personality through which we are with whom we are interacting every day. Are you someone who is already, or to be very precise, most of the time into the criticizing and complain mode? Give me a minute. I'll reshare my screen. I think there is some problem. I'm not able to view it properly. Yeah, now it is. If the person or the activity that needs to be done is not done correctly, are you the one who is not taking a minute or to analyze that whether you should be criticizing or complaining? It actually harming your connection, that influence you want to make. We are the creature of emotion, and we are motivated by our ego and pride. Ask yourself how you normally felt when you get criticized or you receive a complaint from your seniors or your colleague. As against that, you must have heard a sandwich feedback technique. We learn a lot of it in Toastmasters, that even when we evaluate someone talk, we give them the areas of improvement, not directly. We praise them for the good thing they did, then we tell them the area of improvement, then again we end it with the appreciation, what went well. And that is actually the right way. Criticizing people, it makes people defensive and they always rationalize their action. So today the strategies we are talking, it is from a very famous book which is written 84 years back by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And at the time of reading book, when author has shared his real life example of about the criminals that they did many crime, but they are also rationalizing their behavior, that the situation and circumstances was in a way that it led them to act in that manner. that supreme power. We Indian believe in karma and the fruits or the punishment that we receive for all our good and bad doings through our life. That too happens at the end of our life when we leave this world. That is done by that supreme power. So the God himself is not criticizing us. Who then you and me? Here, a author has given an example of Bob Hoover, who was conducting test of aircraft, and what he found during the test of one of the aircraft at the time of landing, it actually supposed to go through an accident, which Bob Hoover luckily managed to have control over it and managed to land safely. When it was inquired, he came to know that the fueling of that aircraft was done by wrong fuel. It was fueled by jet aircraft fuel. And when he landed, the first person he met is the person who used to do this job. That person was very afraid that yes, he's going to have that firing from Bob. What you can imagine at this point of time, how Bob would have reacted to that attendant. He has screamed, he must have fired him. No. He just said, you're going to do it properly for the next aircraft. And he was knowing, Bob was aware of one of the discovery by psychologist B.F. Skinner. Skinner has founded that in animals, when they rewarded for their good behavior, they learn faster, as against if they punish for their wrongdoings. Similar is the case for us being human. One of the example, if I'll give you to relate to it, we being parents and always trying to make our children study or learn the good things. Have you observed their reaction when you criticize them, when you always blame them for not doing the small things correctly? As against that, tapping on their back and saying if they have done anything wrong. Say, for example, if one day my younger son Raghav, he just a glass of water slipped out of his hand and he was looking afraid. There was fear on his face, apparent clearly, and he was waiting that he was expecting that now mama will be angry. I said him, no problem, we will wipe it off. And slowly and gradually smile appeared on his face. He himself tried to wipe it off. I know when we are discussing that, do not criticize or condemn people. When we are discussing, it is simple to say, but difficult to implement. At every situation, you will find we are finding ourselves complaining and criticizing. The whole crux of today's discussion is understanding how the person on the other side is feeling, or how you want to be treated. If you are doing anything wrong, or if any mistake is happened, how you want to be treated. if that one feeling or that one thought, that one understanding will be clear, the foundation of having the connection and a beautiful relationship, having the influence will be right, will be on the right path. Then the second principle is give honest and sincere appreciation. We human being are one of the strongest desired behavior is getting appreciated. All civilization ultimately rest upon human desire to be important. Most of the time, not most of the time, all the time we are thinking about our own self, what we want, what we should be doing. What we have to do is stop thinking about ourselves and paying attention to the person on the other side and giving a sincere appreciation. Is it difficult? Because when we have discussed the first principle, and to remind you what we are discussing actually, how to build a strong relationship. You don't have to criticize. Being in an appreciation mode, that is the second thing. When we are talking about building the relationship. In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, every man I met is in some way my superior. Having the feeling, and it is actually, if you will try to look it or give it a thought closely, that every person we meet are having some qualities that we don't possess. And we get to learn from them. And thinking that every person I'm going to meet, they are having that special qualities, and I have to admire them, appreciate them. So are we someone who is feeling that, yes, I am superior, I have all the knowledge and learning? If that is the case, it needs to be changed. I have mentioned earlier how we want the appreciation from the people around us. So I'll give you an example. When normally I'm someone who is not fond of cooking, but whenever I do cook, I usually cook in a little larger quantity, and I send. I actually invite my neighbors, or if I'm not able to invite them, I send them whatever I am cooking. And why I'm actually doing that. If I cooked up, if I put in efforts, let's have the appreciation from them. So treat others the way you want to be treated. Third is appeal to another person's interest. We all want what we want, right? Talk about what people want and show them how to get it. Normally, and this part we will discuss quite a few times in our today's discussion, is whenever we get into conversation with anyone, we mostly focus on what we want out of that conversation instead of paying attention to what that person want, what is their speciality, what they are bringing on the table. And then in that way, how that conversation will be fruitful for that person or for us, or how that conversation will be able to make us that strong relation that connect and influence on the person on the other side. Because to make them feel special, we have to pay attention, have interest on their need. If we do fishing, We are not taking pastries or cake in our fishing rod, right? We take what fish want. That's also applicable for human being. We have to appeal to their interest. How to do it? As I mentioned, before speaking to another person, take pause and think what the other person can get out of this. As I mentioned, the world is full of people who are self seeking. Be the one who is genuinely interested in others, who actually care about others. Is the pointers or the strategies I'm mentioning is difficult? Not at all. A little of being mindful and being present at the moment will help us to do wonders. It's happening most of the time that we are self centered, only thinking about what we have to do, what is the next step that I want to take. So, I'll give you the example of WOFA itself. That when we are talking to one person, if we got the opportunity to initiate a conversation with a group of fellow chartered accountants during the tea, lunch, or dinner time, at that point of time, I have noticed that people are interested to jump from one group of conversation to another quickly. Maybe I was also one of them at certain point of time, considering the time limit and to reach out to as many as people possible. But the time at that moment, the conversation which is happening, are we paying attention to that? Are we really interested in listening to what the person on the other side is having to say? Their expertise, their area of interest, from where they come. And here I would like to mention one of the incident. Author Dale Carnegie himself has shared that he has been into conversation with one of the famous personality, and after that conversation, after that interaction, it came in a way that he found author a very interesting person, most interesting person. And later on, it came out in a way that author didn't spoke much. He actually didn't spoke anything. He was actually listening with utmost attention to that person. And without saying much, he was an interesting person to that. Then comes the second part is how to make people like you. And these are the strategy that will actually help from the point of view we have discussed about those networking to all of those people, how I will be remembered, what will help me to have that connection, the long lasting connection and influence on the people I am meeting. Again, the point is become genuinely interested in other people. When you see a group of photo on whom you are focusing, what you are actually observing, you will find that all of us are having that trait that we only see our picture in that photo, in that group photo. For me, the most important person on this whole world is not my kids, not my spouse, not my any family member, not my mother, father, brother, sister. It's me. The first and foremost important person is me. And that goes with all of us. So are you making the person are you making them feel that yes, they are interested, you are interested in them? As I have mentioned earlier, taking genuine interest in their background, their experiences, talking about their problems, discussing their goals, where they want to reach. If you have something to offer based on your experiences, are you offering them? Or you are only focusing on what you want to speak when the other person is speaking? That this point we will cover later on also, when we will talk about listening, that there is a difference when we are into conversation, that we are paying attention to which part actually. When we are discussing about taking the interest, there are different type of people we are getting the opportunity to interact. People, those are junior to us, our peers, and our seniors. If you want to walk fast, walk alone. If you want to reach far, walk together. Are you able to take all of all the people around you with you as a leader? And for that, how you are conversing with them, how you're conversing with your juniors, how you're conversing with your peers and your seniors. Are you taking interest in them? Are you genuinely paying attention to their life? People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Quite a few times, I remember some of the conversation, not all of them, or I'm sure you also must be having those incident when the person on the other side has not given you that respect, and it is not something which was spoken, it was in the action, gestures. Is the person is listening to us, right? When I'm mentioning you those incident in my life when I actually felt that the person on the other side is feeling that who is she, why to pay attention or put in my time into conversation, and quickly moving to the other person, how we felt at that point of time. This learning, this I know the points which we are discussing is not something new that we are discussing. All of you must have came across these points some or the other part of your life. It's not about being knowing these things, it is about practicing to have that winning relationship ahead. Winning relationship, having that happy life, and all those why that we have discussed: networking, influencing client, leadership, impacting personal life in positive ways. So the need is to practice this. What a smile says. Even if you don't know the person, the first impression that I was talking about few minutes back, when I used to approach or when we are approaching someone new or to someone we are meeting for the first time, what our smile says. We are happy to meet that person. It is a message of goodwill. At this moment, not only at the time of meeting, throughout the conversation, how is your facial expression? One thing I would like to add here, a point that I myself has experienced is your physiology change your psychology. All of you will agree to the fact that not all the time we are feeling energetic or on cloud nine, right? And that smile, I'll say it, fake it until you make it. Even if you're not feeling to smile, bringing that fake smile for a couple of seconds will help you to bring back that mood which is not as you wanted. You met someone with not a smiley face, a kind of a worry or a disappointment or a mischievous look on your face as compared to having a smiley face. It is a welcoming gesture that yes, you are happy and you are looking forward for this conversation that is going to happen. And like attracts like. If you will smile, you will realize that the atmosphere around you is also positive. So smile. Are you someone who want that people like you, but you're finding difficult to remember names? And if you're finding difficult to remember name, you have to work upon it. Yes, the sweetest sound on this earth for any person is their name. For me, it is Kalpana Thakur. Similarly, for you, it is your name. And for the person you are meeting, their name. I have given you example of respected vice chairman of our ICAI, how he remembered my name. And it actually made me feel that yes, he cared for his members. He cared for his fraternity. I know it is not that easy to remember name, but with the proven tricks and little effort, we will be able to master it. We have to pay, we have to be attentive when the other person is saying their name. Try to repeat it. I usually ask meaning of the name. I do some association, like I met someone from Mumbai. Ma'am's name was Vandana, and I immediately mentioned that, oh, Vandana is my younger sister's name, and I remember her face and her name. During the conversation, whenever possible, repeating their name, it will help us to remember it. Next time, when you will be meeting that person, instead of asking, or if I'll meet her again, instead of asking, oh, we've met again, how you are feeling? Instead of that, oh, Vandana ma'am, we met again, how you are feeling? There will be difference in both the sentences. When I'll take her name, she will feel important. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. So that's what we are discussing from the start. I mentioned this earlier as well, that most of the time when the other person is speaking, what we are doing, either the thought is going into our mind that what we have to speak when they'll finish, or we are not, we are only hearing, we are not paying attention to it. All the strategies that we have discussed, that paying interest, appreciating the person on the other side, all of these will only happen when we will listen. For someone, their headache is more serious problem to discuss as against a war situation happen between the country. And you have to give them a listening ears, not only a listening ears, an attentive mind. And this listening will help us, as I have mentioned, to appreciate them, paying interest to what they actually want, suggesting them any solution based on our experience if we have in our store. Can we go back to the points we have discussed, the 4 pointers? 2 is yet to go. What we have discussed, 6 ways to make people like you. First is become genuinely interested in other people. Second, smile. Are you smiling when you are meeting someone, when you are stepping out of your home? Together with your dressing, are you wearing that smile or forgetting it in your wardrobe or at your home? Or when you are coming back from the office, are you forgetting that smile in the office and having that angry look on your face or that tiredness on your face for your family members? If that is the case, it needs to be changed. Third is remembering name. Fourth, be a good listener. We have discussed this point, difference between listening and hearing. We have to listen to understand the people, not to answer them, not to make them offended, not to compete with them. So have that clarity in mind why we are listening. And people most of the time forget about the importance of listening. It's not only about talking, but getting the other person the opportunity to speak. Talk in terms of other person's interest. Now, how this will happen? If I'm going to WOFA, I'm going to meet so many fellow chartered accountants, how I will be knowing about their interest? Maybe I know it. Everybody is having that common interest in that networking event, is getting connected to each other, staying in contact with each other, making each other aware about the area of specialization. Are you getting my point, what I am trying to say? Or you're going to attend, let's take an example. I am having a CSR summit, like we have this accountant WOFA. Similarly, one of my client who is in NGO, he is organizing and event. He is normally organizing half yearly event which is attended by the top executive officials of big corporate entities. The official, those are looking after the CSR spend of that entity. If I get the opportunity to attend that event, what I need to be prepared in terms of talking about the people's interest in that conference. I need to prepare. If I'm not someone who is having the background of this ESG, CSR activities, some sort of basic understanding, if required, the advanced level, to gel up in that environment, to have the comfortable conversation on that common interest topic of that event. Knowing the goal of the other person, what they are looking for. So, someone, if you are into, if you must have experienced this in WOFA, someone like me who is into traditional practice as well as into trainings, maybe we will be looking for the opportunities and collaboration for both of these aspects. Someone who is into business, like I met someone who was doing the gifting business, so that person was interested to make us aware about the products he delivered, the areas he catered, and all of this to happen is what we want, is listening and keeping ourself, our priority aside. And the sixth is make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. From the start, we are discussing this, that how it will happen, how we will make the other person important. Remember, quite a few times we have touched this point and we are discussing this itself, remembering their name, giving them a listening ears, taking interest in what they actually want, appreciating them. Now, when we are moving to the third principle, before discussing that, let me ask you a question, that what you do if someone disagrees with you. So from the start, we have gathered here to discuss about the strategies of how to influence and have that connection. But what if someone is disagreeing with you? What to do in that situation? And for that, let's discuss 12 ways. Let's take an overview of 12 ways to win people to your way of thinking if there is a disagreement because of any reason. The first one is, the only way to get the best of any argument is to avoid it. How? How is the best way to win any argument? So take an example of any of the argument you have been into in the past. If you won that argument, or if you lose that argument, don't you feel that in those both the scenarios, the person who was at loss was you? Keeping from the perspective of having that influence and win-win situation for both the side. We have to find the midway, and keeping the ideology and the principle of, when we are talking about avoiding the argument, it is also for our peace of mind. right? If we win out of that argument, the other person felt defeated. They feel that we have proved our superiority, and if we lose that argument in any which ways, we are at loss. So always avoid argument. And how? By saying it is very easy that yes, I'm saying that avoid the argument. Few of the tricks that I will not claim that yes, I am the person who is never getting into any argument. There are situations and circumstances in our life where speaking about our right and what is fair is needed at some occasions, but for rest of the events, a little bit of care and being mindful and being at the moment will help us to tackle that situation more in a more smart way. And the first strategy that I follow, and you must have heard this before as well, that do not react or respond at that spur of movement. When you feel to react, when you feel that yes, this is the time I have to speak up and I have to let the other person know that yes, I am right, postpone it. If you have written a mail, not needed to be very precise, or with you have written a mail with anger, type it whatever you want, draft it, but do not hit that send button. Postpone it for after a couple of hours. Have a little walk, take deep breath. After some time, come back to that point, and you will feel that feeling you had of responding or whatever reaction you are having in your mind. You will find that it is subtle, and you will find a peaceful way of doing it. When we are talking about avoiding the argument, then what the next point is, be in a friendly way, never say you are wrong. Yes, if we are avoiding argument, then how we will tackle that situation? We will show the person, we will demonstrate in the conversation that yes, this is the way in which another way, the way that person is offering, as compared to that, yes, this is another way through which we can achieve a desired result, maybe with less energy or in a quick time. So we don't have to hamper the pride and prestige. We don't have to hurt their ego. Right? Handling with care. It is not only going with the fragile item. It is about the people and the relationship as well. That yes, I appreciate the solution you have just shared with us. But with all due respect, this is what I feel will help us to do it in a better way. So here we are talking about playing with words, not being a chartered accountant, not only with words. And it is not, it will never happen that we will be right all the time, right? We are human and we tend to make mistakes. And it is not that we have to appreciate and praise no matter what the other person is saying. As I've already mentioned, there will be situation where no getting this message clear that what is our intention is also an equally important. Keeping our pride and prestige at the same time when we give the respect to other person is also important. And if we are wrong, we have to admit it quickly. Most of the time, as we have mentioned, the starting point of our discussion for today was, can anyone guesses? Unfortunately, this is one way communication, and I cannot ask you. So let's go back to what we have discussed. What was the starting point of our discussion when we have started our discussion on the point of techniques in handling people? Criticizing. A weak person criticize and complain. Right. So to cover up your mistake, are you again falling into the trap of complaining and criticizing? If yes, be mindful. The person who take the responsibility of anything which has not happened as per the plan in the room is the strongest person, I believe, because taking the responsibility is not an easy task, and usually people run away when it comes to taking the so there is a saying, um winning is defeat is orphan kid, right? Many winning gets many person to claim that yes, they are there, they are the contributor in this win. But when it comes to not getting the work as planned, in case of defeat, people run away from that responsibility. So if you are wrong, admit it the moment you have realized it, and empathetically, without hurting anyone, and taking the discussion on a positive and a professional note. Begin in a friendly way. All of you understood or understanding what I'm trying to explain from the start? I think all of you must be understanding what I'm trying to say. These are not any rocket science that we are discussing, very basic principle that we are discussing, written 84 years back by Dale Carnegie. This tone of mind, the way I have mentioned, as against that, I hope all of you are with me, taking the points and realizing that this small step strategy and being mindful at these occasions when it comes to interacting with people will help you to take your interpersonal skill to the next level. Are you experiencing the difference when I am in both of the way I have said the same thing, right? The meaning of what I have said in the first case, on a higher pitch, my tone was not friendly, gentle, calm. It was a kind of a little sarcastic tone as compared to the second one, where I was speaking with the calm voice, having the control of realizing that what I'm speaking, how you will take it. So, are you conversing with the person on the other side on a friendly way? So, this reminds me of an incident recently in the month of January. In the first week of January, I got the opportunity of attend a session by Nitya Shanti. Um, those of you who don't know him, he is a mentor, coach. He has done meditation for quite a few years. So what he has mentioned very beautiful thing uh, about being conversing and interacting with other person. What he has mentioned that we are not interacting with the person who is in front of us. We are interacting with what our assumptions and thinking about that person is. Are you getting my point? I'll repeat. We are not interacting with the person who is in front of us. Sorry. However, we are interacting with what we think about that person, our perception about that person. Go back to those incidents, or to give you my example, there are a few people in our life to whom we actually don't like, keeping all the principle aside. And when I converse with them, the assumptions I'm having, the thought process I'm having about them, whatever they are saying, I'm I'm taking the interpretation is happening in a way my perception is about them. As against that, those relationship, those people in our life with whom we are having a good bonding, whatever they have said, that is perfectly gelled up. What we try to understand, what they are trying to explain us. So, what is your perception? That thought process is into your mind. Are you conversing with that perception, or you're actually into the conversation with the person who is in front of you, what he or she is saying? And are you friendly when you are conversing with them? After the end of today's session, a small exercise I would like all of you to give is every person after this session, when you will be conversing, pay attention to what thought process, what you are thinking at the time of conversing, and what you are saying, and how much you are able to understand, you are able to get from those conversation, being with your kids, being with your spouse, if you are into in your office, with your colleagues, with your boss. Here one more point I would like to emphasize and throw a light on it: being mindful. All of this, I've mentioned this earlier as well. All the outcomes that we want to achieve from our today's discussion, the strategies, the principle, the methodology we are discussing will only be achieved if we will be mindful at every moment. Are you at this moment? Even though in this one way of conversation that I'm having, I'm not getting the opportunity to know what you are thinking at this very moment. I'm not able to ask the question at this very moment, but all of you are with me physically and mentally. Similarly, all the conversation that we are being into, are we into those conversation? And then only all of those giving the attention, appreciation, talking about the interest will happen. Then the fifth, just a second. Get the other person saying yes, yes, immediately. What it means. What which thought is coming into your mind when we are talking about getting the yes, yes from the other person? So I'm having some object. Say, for example, if you have gone through a YouTube video, right? And right at the beginning, if we get the message that subscribe to our channel, it is talking about that channel is only talking about itself without letting the person, without letting us know what we are getting from it. Simply subscribing to that channel, what we will get out of it. As against that, you have noticed some of the great channels, those are doing good in terms of creating the content, getting the subscriber and the view. They are talking about, they first emphasize that what is there for us. And then we subscribe it, we say it, yes, yes. So are we having our conversation where we only put across what we want from our team members, or what the demands do you have from your seniors, the conditions, if any, you want to put across that, see, boss, I do not want to work in this way, or you are bringing that conversation in a way that you offer the points that, in a way, they see a win-win situation for both. It is not only about you, but the person on the other side as well. Then the sixth point is, let the other person do a great deal of talking. This is what we are discussing from the start, right? Let them speak what they want. And by letting them speak, we will get to know the yes, yes that we have discussed. The point five, this fifth principle is will happen when that person will talk, and we will get to know how a way can be found when the objective of both of us, all of us in the conversation will be fulfilled. You want to bring in an idea, and instead of putting it or declaring it that yes, do it in a way, how about doing a brainstorming strategically and concluding in a way that the idea or the solution is not only from us, it is collectively brought in. And then everybody will feel that belongingness, that yes, this is their idea, and everybody will work in unity and having a sense of belongingness. Right? Or first asking, okay, so what you have in store, how it can be resolved, and talking about their pros and cons, and slowly and gradually inviting and putting across your suggestion. 6 for me can be 9 for you, for the person who is standing in front of me. Right? So, again, the point is, are we trying to understand the point of view of the person talking on the other side from their perspective, putting on their shoes? And when we will do so, the ninth principle will help us being sympathetic with others, their ideas, their desire, what they want to do. If we will realize how they are feeling, what is their point of view, we will be able to understand how the discussion they are bringing, the solutions they are bringing, how it will be helpful. Appeal to the nobler motive, not only for the benefit of our own, but for the benefit of the larger group, for the benefit of all. And here I will give a small example of how thinking about the nobler motive will not only help the community or the people or the group you are associated with, it will help you as well to grow, shine, and succeed. I have started an initiative, Friday Fleet, an initiative, a social initiative for women empowerment. Over there, the basic motto, objective we have is, we being females, being women, are facing challenges in our life when it comes to handling the personal and professional life. And we made a virtual platform where we conduct sessions every Friday on the self-help topic as well as technical topic related to traditional area of practice, so on and so forth. This is not only impacting in a positive way to my community of females, it is impacting me as well. Because when we lead, when we work for the better and the bigger goal, it gives us the motivation to do the best, to give the best. Then comes the dramatize your idea. It will benefit to all and making everybody realize that this idea will be beneficial and helpful to all of us. Throw down a challenge. Normally, you would have noticed that, again, here to give you an example, reading regular books is something that we all are striving for. We all want to read books regularly. There is an app called Booklet by Amrut Deshmukh, if you are aware of it. Reading is one of the boring tasks for all of those who are not into regular reading habit. And what he has done, he has included the gamification in reading. On his app, you will find the summary of various books that say, for example, summary of this book, you will be able to read. Usually it is in 3 to 4 parts, and a reading of complete summary can be done in 15 minutes. Or you can hear the audio as well if you don't have the time to sit and read that summary on your mobile phone. So he has introduced, and some people find reason to procrastinate reading the summary as well on a regular basis. So what he has done, he has introduced the gaming element similar to IPL, Indian Book League, into it. The second season of it is just ended in the end last week of January. So the task which is boring for those who are not having the regular reading habit, what needs to be done every day, you will receive a book summary to read, and based on that summary you will have to answer 6 questions. Every right answer there is a 6 run. And we found that, and there were different teams. I will not discuss much, already I have elaborated a little. But this is about bringing the challenge element into our conversation. If anything we want to achieve, the gamification and how it will help us to get the things done. So what had happened that all the members in the team was eager every day morning to read the book summary and answer those 6 questions, to play those 6 questions, and the time allotted for that was 24 hours. Similarly, you must have noticed some of us announcing something publicly that yes, I take this challenge, and I'll be, and then what happens, we being accountable. So similarly, having those elements into our conversation, getting the things done from the other person, to repeat what we have discussed. So what we were discussing, actually, to go back to "12 ways to win people to your way of thinking." First was, the only way to get the best of any argument is to avoid it. Begin it in a friendly way. Never say you are wrong. Third is, if you are wrong, admit it quickly and empathetically. Fourth is begin in friendly way. Get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. Then the sixth is, let other person do a great deal of talking and you have to use your ears. We have one mouth and 2 ears to listen. Let the other person feel that idea is there and get the buying from them. Even if that idea is yours, you have to do that. You have to play it tactically to get that buying from all the members in your team. Try honesty to see things from the other person point of view. Be sympathetic with other person ideas and desire. Feel how they are feeling. Appeal to the nobler motive and dramatize your idea and throw down a challenge. Then comes the fourth principle, is how to be a leader. How to change people without giving or arousing resentment. And to be a leader, we have 9 strategies. First is, begin with praise and honest appreciation. So this is the loop which is completing. Here is what we have actually started our discussion when we have taken the first strategy, is do not criticize. At that point of time, I have elaborated that even if we want to tell some of the areas of improvement, we have to first praise them, what the good is done, what good thing is done. Imagine a situation that in your team, leader will tell you directly that what you need to be done, what all of us need to be done. As against that, the effort, the coordination, the bonding that we are having. We will get the praise and appreciation for that. And after that, we will get to know that what we have to do. Will there be a two different mindset in this scenario? Yes, it will be. Again, I'll give you the example of our little ones at home. You must have noticed that I usually witnessing this, experiencing this, and I'm sure you also must be experiencing this, that when I sit with my kids for their homework, if I get angry on them or tell them straightforward to do what they need to be, their homeworks, they are not that much not responding quickly or in a mood to do it. As against that, when I refer something which has happened during the day, something good they have done. Oh, you have helped me today to arrange your toys. And I was able to do it quickly. And now, how the beautiful our house is looking. See, Mama is very happy with you. And I know now you will do your homework also neatly. You will hold your pencil correctly. You will make your formation on the correct lines. You will not write above the line or below the line. It gives them the feeling of happiness. And as we have discussed, we crave for appreciation. That is one of the foundation of interpersonal skill. What we look for being appreciated, and we are interested in getting things done. All of us are interested in what is in it for me, what I'll get from this. And if you will address this from the point of view of the person on your side, as I have mentioned, everything will fall into your place when it comes to mastering the interpersonal skill, having that connection. Another trait of a leader is pointing out at the mistake, but not directly. We have discussed in the first principle that when it comes to learning quickly, if the reward will be given on the doing the right things, in those cases the learning is higher. So this is the philosophy used by one of the sports coach also, I forgot his name, that catching them and appreciating them when they are right. And when there is a mistake, telling in a way that this is that will not be so apparent and making them feel inferior or criticize. But here, one thing I would like to mention is when we are talking about bringing the attention to the mistake, there are some of the team member, they deliberately not pay attention to their work. And at some of the situation and moment, it is important to get the message clearly. And it will happen maybe out 2 to 3 instances out of 10. But rest of the 7 to 8 instances, it can happen indirectly, keeping the pride of that person intact and doing it, handling it in that situation with utmost care. You remember that example of fueling that aircraft with the wrong fuel? Third is talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Here, I would like to give you an example of me motivating the student in any of the offline and online sessions, motivating them to interact with me, interact with the fellow students. So what happens usually at the initial part of the session, students don't come forward to share whatever we ask them, whatever I ask them to do. And in spite of quite a few time motivating them that yes, you can do it, I know you have potentials, that doesn't help. What I do usually, I in NLP language, it is said in this way that meeting the person where they are and taking them where you want them to. So I'm meeting them where they are. How I am mentioning how I was being a student with full of self doubt, inferiority, lack of confidence, and I shared them all those few of the major story that how I was hesitant to raise hand in small professional gathering when I was in big four. I was the one who used to keep mum in the partners meeting, in the client meeting, in the training programs. And I tell them that what the thought process was going into my mind and what mistake I was doing. It was a mistake of not speaking up. On those occasions, I have realized when I've started speaking up, when I've embraced the journey of taking the victory on the fear of public speaking, when I share this, my mistake, instead of pinpointing that what they are doing wrong, the response I am getting is completely different. All of them, what is happening in that situation? All of them are trying to relate to me. I'm actually tapping to the point how they are feeling by giving my example. And that give a great bonding and connections. It helped me to have that bond and connection with them. And they actually come forward, they speak up, the interaction starts. And I get the feedback that yes, by sharing my journey, by sharing the problems I have been gone through, it actually helped them to come out of their comfort zone. Coming back to the point that we are discussing is talking about our own mistake before criticizing the people, what good it will bring. Directly criticizing the person is keeping their spirit and motivation down, killing their spirit and motivation. And by doing in this way, we will make them know that yes, the thing they are doing is not correct, and they are not the one who did this. We also did this in past, and yes, they will have their sense of belongingness, their pride intact, as we are mentioning it quite a few times throughout our conversation. Next is ask direct question instead of giving direct order. So here are the strategies that if you will follow, you will master the leadership skill, the interpersonal skill. Instead of saying in this way, are you someone who felt after attending the WOFA that you have met many fellow chartered accountants, but the impact you left on them was not that great as compared to what you actually wanted? Are you someone who want to lead your team in a best possible way with having the great connection and bond with your team member, with your seniors, with your juniors? If yes, these are the strategies you can try. Are you noticing the difference in both the way? Instead of telling you to simply follow, instead of, for an example, for ordering you to, yes, these are the strategies, I am making you realize through my questions that yes, this is the solution. My dear friends, I'll again refer back to the point that I'm mentioning time and again, that these strategies are simple yet impactful. At the same time, implementing this will not happen overnight. We are talking about making a change into our habit pattern, the habit which we are following from our childhood. And this is not my fault, your fault, or the fault of the person around us. This is the situation and circumstances in which we are living, and we are tend to do the things as per our personal benefit and falling into the trap of criticizing, blaming, complaining about the people. But the good news is habit can be changed with little effort and mindfulness. Coming back to the point, fifth point is let the other person save face. As we have discussed the 4 points of trait of a leader, you will be able to have the understanding of what this is trying to say, that human we are human and we are tend to make mistakes. If something is done wrong, it should not be, the criticizing or the blaming should not be in a way that that person will lose his or her self respect. And this is what, and how to do it, that's what we have discussed in the previous pointers. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. When you are appreciating, you have to do it with wholeheartedly. And at the same time, when you are criticizing, when you are telling them their mistake, it should be in a way that it will not make them demoralize. It should not demotivate them. Words once spoken cannot be taken back. And the praise that we have gone through, people will forget everything, but not that how we made them feel. Then the next is give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. So again, here I will refer back to the example I've given you about my kids, the reputation I've tried to build with them, or the reputation I gave them, that yes, you are doing everything, you are helping, you are keeping your toys at their original place, you are helping mama, you are keeping your, after finishing your meal, you are keeping the dishes in the kitchen at the right place. What I am doing, I am encouraging them, giving them a benchmark that yes, you are the someone who is doing everything right and as it needs to be done. And that's how we have to do with our colleagues, with the people around us. Next is use encouragement, make the fault seem easy to correct. Oh my God, what you have done? Have you lost your mind? You don't know how to do this simple calculation? How careless you can. I don't know how much careless you are. These statements, if I'm giving to a team member, a junior team member, this can be said mindfully. Mistake can be rectified, right? It will be rectified. Then only the work will proceed. But here, the impact through my words that will be on the mind, on the heart of that team member, which that will be something which will not be able to repaired easily. And the last point, the trait for a leader is make the other person happy about doing the things you suggest. That the strategies you are talking are the best possible way. You have to make them realize, like I have given you a demonstration of you being following these strategies in your life, how it will help you in your interpersonal skill, in your leadership skill. I hope all of you are with me and you got, if you're knowing these, if you I hope most of you must have read this book before, but today we got to repeat these learnings, this time tested formula. I'm sure it will help you to have that great relationship, great impact, connection, and influence on the people around you. Before we conclude, let's go back to what we have discussed. Repetition is the mother of all learning. And I'm sure after this session, not all, but start with one. The one we have started our discussion. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Start following this from now itself. What was the next one? Give honest and sincere appreciation. Third was appeal to another person's interest. Then we have discussed six ways to people like you. What was those 6 ways? Becoming genuinely interested in other person. Smile. Remembering people's name, the most important sound for that person. Being a good listener. Talk in terms of what the other person interest is. Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. And then we have discussed 12 strategies of what to do if someone is disagreeing with you, with us. The only way to get the best of any argument is avoiding it. Begin in a friendly way and never say you are wrong. And if you have done any mistake, any wrong, admit it quickly and empathetically. Begin in a friendly way. Get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. Let the other person do a great deal of talking. People wants people want to be heard, and give them that opportunity. Let the other person feel that the idea is there. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Be sympathetic with other person's idea and desire. Appeal to the nobler motive. Dramatize your idea. Throw down a challenge. Gamification. And then we have gone through 9 traits of a leader. Begin with the praise and appreciation. Call attention to people mistake, not directly but in indirect way. Talk about your own mistake before criticizing the other person. Ask question instead of giving direct orders. Let the other person save face. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. Use encouragement, make the fault seem easy to correct, and make the other person happy about doing the things you suggest. With that, we have come to end of our discussion for today. I hope all of you will try to implement, definitely implement. First, as I mentioned, try with not criticizing and complaining about people around you. With that, I wish you a very happy social and personal, professional life. You have the great connection, impact, and influence on the people around you. Like we have CA Dheeraj Singlaji. He has recently won in our regional council election of NIRC. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
Dheeraj ji, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Kalpana, ma'am. It has been such an honor to part of this wonderful webcast on enhancing skills to influence and connection for CS, organized by the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee ICI. On behalf of the Professional Skill Enrichment Committee ICI, we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, CA Kalpana Thakur, for her enlightening session. Since thanks to event enablers from the Sangrur branch of NIRC of ICI, who enabled the webcast throughout. A wide round of applause and thanks to organizer Professional Skill Enrichment Committee ICI, our today's speaker CA Kalpana Thakur and other stakeholders made the webcast a memorable one. Finally, would like to thank you, all of you be present here and helping us make this webcast a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dheeraj ji. Do we have any questions or are we good to
With this, we conclude the today's session. Thanks to all.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.